Hello, my name is Enola. We're here with Jimmy Haynes as a special guest. We are going to be talking about his life as a musician, as an instructor. And I've got some questions to ask you, Jimmy. At what age did you start playing music?
I started playing when I was about 10 years old, maybe 9, but in between 9 and 10 is when I got a real interest in guitar.
What started you? What got your interest into music?
Well, one thing for me, my dad had a lot of country records, and he was singing Hank Williams stuff, when I was at home, and it was just constantly, that's all he did. And then I heard, rock music and stuff back in those days, and I just loved what I heard. And it was like, I told Mom and Dad, I said, I really like to get started on guitar. And, that's what I did. And they found me an instructor back when I was first right at 10 years old. So I had formal lessons at 10 and kind of went from there.
What was your first band you were ever in?
Ooh, first band? That's a hard question.
Put you on the spot.
Yeah, you put me right on the spot. First band could have been when I played with Ronnie Schlegel. That would have been an early band. Ronnie Schlegel and Jack Riddell, and I can't even remember the name of the band. That's how long ago that's been.
Yes.
So there's been a lot of bands in between.
How well did that go, and where did that take you?
Well, we were playing a lot of bluegrass music in those days. I was probably 16 or 17 by then, and we were playing, a lot of local shows around Ohio. And Ronnie, for those that don't know, Ronnie Schlegel's dad was a very famous guitar player. Actually, he played for the Osborne brothers, and so I got to stay with, Ronnie and his family and learn a lot from his dad, which was one of the greatest singers, that was around. And his stage name was Jimmy Brown. So that was really cool to, grow up around that atmosphere and learn a lot of cool stuff from Jimmy Brown, which was playing, all over the country with the Osborne brothers.
So you would say your genre of music was bluegrass and country?
Well, I definitely got my start. Probably my earliest start was probably rock, believe it or not, because I had a lot of rock influence back in those days. With kind of the Led Zeppelin kind of stuff. Played even Black Sabbath, that kind of stuff. There was a group called Mountain. Neil Young was a big, all those guys. I listened to all that. And then I listened to a lot of country music, with Dad's records. Also, I remember Dad had a record of Flatt and Scruggs, and they did Jimmy Brown the Newsboy, and I just loved the guitar work on that. And I remember staying up very late during the night figuring out how to play that on guitar. And so that would have been a real early start of all that stuff.
So, and that brought you into the teaching mode, but how did you start to teach music?
Well, I didn't really teach. It was quite a few years later before I got into the teaching. Because I would say, as you know the story, I started with guitar from about 10, and I got real interested in mandolin when I hit about 20, wasn't that right around 20?
Yes, you were 20.
And how that happened was I have a real good friend that had a record collection, and he had like 2,200 bluegrass records in his basement, and he said, let's go down and listen to some music. And that's when I got turned on to Tony Rice, and got Dole Lawson, Jimmy Goudreau, and just all these fantastic players. So that was the start of that. And in case we were married, and I ran home and told you about it, like, oh gosh, I got to get a mandolin. And boy, I had a lot of sleepless nights playing mandolin in those days.
Yeah. So as a semi-pro, you played out on the road. What band was that?
Well, I was playing on the road when I was about 16 or 17. Me, Ronnie, and Jack Riddell, actually probably one of the very first bands. I had a big church influence, as you know, on gospel music. because Jimmy Brown actually was going to our church, and we would, I would have his influences, with that, and then playing, music with his son and Jack Rodello, which goes way back. And then I actually played for a local bluegrass band, Paul and Roy Riggs, and then I traveled with them. So that's some of the real early stuff that I did. And then, as you know, we started the Haynes Family Quartet a little bit later on.
And that was with your dad and your brother Tracy?
Yeah, that was actually the beginning of that band started with...
And myself.
Yeah, but it started out, as you know, with my brother and my dad and myself, and then, me and you got married, of course, and then, you started in it on the quartet stuff. And then, then after that, we kind of, had a family of our own, of course, and, got into the family, business of music. And
that's when you first started being an instructor, wasn't it?
Well,
a little bit before that, maybe?
Yeah, what happened there was with Adam, and he's our youngest son, and then Jimmy's our oldest son, plays guitar. They were about 14, and we started in on there. And I really didn't think of myself as a teacher, although I've been playing ever since all that time. But, I did start breaking stuff down for them and started really having a lot of fun, playing music with the boys. And then, as you know, we went on the road within a year or so, and then started cutting records. And
you collected a lot of instructional booklets over the years, and you learned a lot that way. You've always kind of immersed yourself in whatever you were studying.
Yeah, I'm a real believer in studying music from all different areas of stuff. I had a heavy influence of Bill Monroe on the mandolin, Tony Rice on the guitar. I mean, everybody that knows music or listens to that stuff knows what an influence those people have had. Dole Lawson was a big influence on my mandolin playing. Dempsey Young, was another one. There were just so many great people. Sam Bush, David Grisman, and I did buy a lot of any way I could get a book or anything that would help me learn. Records. I would wear records out. There was just tons of cool stuff back in those days, and I've got quite a collection of. Pretty much an endless collection of all that stuff.
So how long have you been actually teaching students?
The student thing happened, I started privately, at the house, when we with the boys. It started going into private lessons then, and then it wasn't long after that, a guy named Kenny Clark came to my house looking for me, and he asked me if I would be interested in teaching music professionally. And by that time I had gained experience of my parts and knew my instruments, really decent. And then Kenny said, I've got a shop in Vermillion, would you come over and teach guitar and mandolin? And I said, well, sure, well, I'd give it a try. And that lasted for about 11 years.
And how long have you had some of your students?
I still got some of them students today, even from those days. I've had a lot of people that's been real serious about playing music and studying music theory.
So you teach just beginner, intermediate, advanced? What do you teach?
It's all levels. It's from beginning to the advanced professional. If there's something you have to learn or something you're really into, I can help with that, because I have influences from Bill Monroe to Dole Lawson, and I play a little bit of Bach and things like that on the mandolin.
And you play some blues and jazz?
Oh yeah.
A little bit?
Yeah, that came even later. I'm always into new things, as you know.
So what instruments do you actually teach on?
I teach guitar. Would be one of the main things that people come and see me about. Definitely mandolin, because I've got
all bluegrass.
Any style, as far as the mandolin is concerned, and pretty much any style on the guitar. I do teach ukulele. We teach banjo. I kind of got influence with that, and also there's some fiddle playing that kind of got in there too from the years of traveling. And in case working with Adam, A lot of you may not know, or maybe you do know, that Adam is a professional fiddle player down in Nashville, and he's been traveling the world. And
He's played with some pretty...
Adam has played with some of the best in the business, and we're real proud of him. He's a really great guy. Very knowledgeable on his instrument. He's a master musician now. And
So what does your oldest son do?
Our oldest son is Jimmy, James Oliver, actually, and he's studied all of the Tony Rice stuff that could ever be studied. He studied, and then he's got those influences of a lot of people too. And also Jimmy, our oldest son Jimmy, he also done teaching too for a living, and he's quite a guitar player. And so it's just been in the family all these years.
Does Adam teach at all?
Adam is starting to teach now in Nashville, and I know he's talking about getting students together. So
is he going to be on any of your videos here at the store?
He's supposed to be doing some video takes with us on fiddle stuff, and that's another area of the music business we're doing today.
He's also he works on fiddles. Is that what I?
Yeah, Adam works on violins, sets them up. And to get him to do that, you can come through Jimmy Haynes Music and talk to me, and I'll talk to Adam, and he does really nice setup. Adam's got some of the best people in the world that's working with him, on instruments, and so there's a lot going on.
So who sets your instruments up?
Well, my main setup guy has been Ken Lesko of Rainbow Guitars. We've known Ken for many, many years, and as far as I'm concerned, Ken's the very best in the business. And I've had a lot of people, different people, even out of Nashville, Tennessee, do stuff for me, and they've done some decent stuff. But Ken, he's been doing setups for us, and he's been keeping us going for many, many years, and that's Rainbow Repairing. Ken is he's one of the top guys in any stuff. I mean, he sets up wonderful guitar stuff. He knows exactly how to get it and get it right. So anybody would be very happy to have him do anything for them.
So what do you offer here at the shop, instrument wise, and
Well, with the shop, we have at least 13 or 14 different companies that we have today. That would be, we got Blue Ridge Guitars, we have Court Guitars, we have Northfield Mandolins. As far as violins are concerned, we deal with a company called Howard Core. Very good company, very nice instruments. There is Diodario strings. I mean, there's just tons.
Washburn?
A little bit of Washburn stuff. What else? We have the Recording Kings. And what I do as a shop owner is I find the very best stuff that all of these companies have to offer. When it comes in the shop, we do an inspection of everything. We make sure the neck angles and things are correct, and we tune them up and see if they've got any problems. And the companies are really good, and we pretty much what I do here is pick out the cream of the crop. So the Court guitars, for instance, the Gold
Series?
Gold Series is supposed to be the best guitar that they've ever come out with. And that's going to be a guitar that's affordable but very nicely done. Recording King offers a guitar similar to that. Blue Ridge offers a guitar that's just super. One of the highlights in the Blue Ridge, if you're on a budget, is the 40, which is a great guitar. We also can get you a John Jorgensen model, which is a little more limiting probably. There's 160s. And
the 140?
There's a 140. So there's just, what I try to do is find, the very nicest stuff they have to offer that, that's a good quality instrument to learn on, and actually an instrument that people can keep and get years.
So you kind of fit the instrument to the customer?
Yeah.
Customer service?
Yeah. And
so how many instructors do you have here?
Well, right now I'm teaching the guitar, mandolin, banjo, fiddle. We have a new gal with us that we're real happy with. Her name is Savannah. She does voice and piano and flute, and she does a lot of behind the scenes stuff. And in case you take care of customers and stuff that walk in, and so
we're going to be doing here at the shop more online lesson videos and occasional videos through the featuring different guitars and stuff that you're going to be doing.
So stay tuned for a whole bunch of other great stuff, and this would probably be like part one of a series we're doing. And in case we'll do some interviews with Savannah, and I'll do some interviews with you also. But this is Jimmy Haynes Music, and we'll do another part two to this series. And stay tuned, and we'll be filling you in. We got lots of stuff happening, and a lot of good stuff to go and look forward to. So
thanks for stopping by.
We'll see. Yep, thanks, and I will talk to you all soon, and come in and visit with us.
Yes, please.
Check out JimmyHaynesMusic.com.